The Jesuit Influence Over World War II. By James Donahue. Not many people realize how involved the Vatican was in events leading up to, during and after World War II. The story is so complex it would take a book to explain what was happening in detail. To simplify this brief account, we start with a bold effort by the late Pope Pius XI to expose the fascist powers. The governments of Italy's dictator Mussolini and Germany's Nazi dictator Adolf Hitler and excommunicate them from memberships in the Catholic Church before the world went to war. The Pope hired noted author John Lafarge, an American Jesuit, to prepare a speech he planned to make during an encyclical gathering of bishops on February 11, 1939.
But Pope Pius XI never made that speech.
He mysteriously dropped dead on February
10.
They said it was a heart attack. Cardinal Eugenio Pacelli was elected to be the next pope. He took the name Pope Pius XII. Upon taking office, Pacelli surrounded himself with Jesuits.
He employed German and Dutch Jesuit advisors including Robert Lieber, Augustin B. and Sebastian Tromp.
The Lafarge document was never made public. Within months after Pacelli was made pope, the Roman Catholic dictators, Hitler, Stalin and Mussolini launched World War II. Working behind the scenes in the above scenario was a powerful Jesuit priest known as Superior General Vladimir Ledechowski, a Polish head of the Jesuit Society, otherwise identified as the Black Pope. Ledechowski served in that capacity from 1915 until his death in 1942. It is believed that Ledechowski and Pope Pius XII conspired together to create a German pro-Catholic political party that would not only become the religion of the German people but be in a position of eliminating Protestants, Orthodox Christians, Communists and ethnic Jews. This became known as the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or the Nazi Party. Hitler, a faithful member of the Church and long a close associate of Archbishop Pacelli, was hand-picked as a figurehead for the Nazi Party.
The real leader of the Nazis was Fr.
Heinrich Himmler, an ordained Jesuit priest, who operated in the shadows behind Hitler. Himmler was appointed leader of the Sturmabteilung, or stormtroopers SS, created as Hitler's personal bodyguards, assassins, espionage agents and general dirty work. According to researcher Franco Collins, Archbishop Pacelli imported gold to Germany in 1917 to help finance the creation and growth of the Nazi Party. The SS officers operated under the authority of the Jesuits and the power of the Pope and had the powers of Catholic priesthood. Because they were deeply entrenched in the German SS troops, the Jesuits had a strong influence over placement and use of the main German concentration camps in Poland during the war. There were 5 major camps, and they were carefully placed at the points of a 5-pointed pentagram, an occult shape considered best for harnessing negative energy to one's human will.
At the entrance to each of the camps was erected a statue of the Virgin Mary, symbolizing the influence of the Catholic Church.
When it looked like Germany was going to lose the war in 1945, all of the emblems of Catholicism were removed and all references to the influence of the Jesuits were erased from public records. It was said that the Jesuits financed the escape of top Nazi leaders from Germany to secret hiding places in South America before they could be captured. Those that ended up at the Nuremberg trials for war crimes were sworn to secrecy about the Jesuit involvement. Thus the general public never knew how connected the Church was to that war. One of the primary Jesuit priests responsible for the cover-up was Fr. Edmund A. Walsh, an American and noted as the founder of the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service. He served at the school as a professor of geopolitics when he wasn't involved in secret operations on behalf of the Jesuits. While Hitler was in prison, Ledechowski instructed Fr. Bernhard Stempfle to write Mein Kampf, My Struggle, a textbook for the Nazi movement. Hitler was carefully briefed on the book's contents, declared the book's author, and the Jesuits financed its mass publication and distribution.
Meanwhile in Communist Russia, Ledechowski ordered the murder of Vladimir Lenin and moved Fr.
Joseph Stalin, another Jesuit priest, into the position of General Secretary of the Communist Party. But that is another story. In the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt won election as president in 1932 with the help of a power team that included Joseph P. Kennedy, William Randolph Hearst, William Gibbs McAdoo, first chairman of the Federal Reserve, and Jesuit Fr. Edmund Walsh. The Jesuits had their man in the White House. Two other important figures in the looming war were General Douglas MacArthur, who was educated by the Jesuits with Walsh serving as an influential patron, and Lieutenant Col. Dwight D. Eisenhower, who in 1933 was serving in the Philippines as an aide to General MacArthur. There it is said Eisenhower became a devoted fan of Fr. Walsh. When the war broke out, Eisenhower was appointed to the War Department General Staff in Washington, D.C. and advanced to the rank of Brigadier General. In December 1943, while the nation was in the midst of war on two fronts, President Roosevelt promoted Eisenhower to the rank of four-star Major General and appointed him as Supreme Allied Commander in Europe. The appointment was a shock to the military since Eisenhower was suddenly advanced over the heads of an estimated 50 seasoned military leaders considered more qualified for the job. General MacArthur was among them. Thus we had the Jesuits linked to key people on all sides of the European conflict. The stage was set for the Germans to win the war. Because of a few serious strategic errors by Hitler and actions by some Allied generals like George Patton, who were not in on the Jesuit plot, the Allies emerged the victors. It would take volumes to explain how that happened. Important resources for this story were researchers Greg Zemansky of the Arctic Beacon and Franco Collins of one-evil.com, plus numerous historical articles and journals.